So we're a little late for Halloween, but today's topic is on fear. But not the whole serial killer breaking into your place kind of fear. Cause you know, philosophy probably won't be much help to you, unless you throw some Kant at him. Instead, we're going to be looking at Stoic philosophy and how it addresses something called groundless fears. These are the fears that you expect to happen that is not yet present. That's why this video is titled Stoicism and Anxiety, because much of anxiety has to do with an irrational fear of something that's coming, or you expect to come. This kind of impending doom of an undisclosed nature. So hopefully this video helps you deal with those worries and haunting thoughts. Welcome to Philosophy Tunes, and the text we'll be using comes from the Stoic philosopher Seneca in his Letters from a Stoic, specifically letter 13 on groundless fears. So he starts by acknowledging that we're hurt by our fear of something more often than the actual things happening to us. There are more things, Lucilius, likely to frighten us than there are to crush us. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This is a pretty fair assessment. I mean, just try and think back to all the times you were worried about something that didn't happen in the end. I don't know, maybe it's more common for people with anxiety, but I'm sure it also happens here and there to others. Cause the mind is not limited by reality, so it could run wild with imagination, dreaming up the worst possible outcomes. So when I was first learning how to drive, I messed up this right-of-way situation and almost got into an accident. No accident though, and the other person just moved on. Me though, my anxiety irrationally thought that I did some major crime and the police would be swarming that area and there'd be a search warrant out for me and all this shit. I know it sounds ridiculous, I know. And it's a big self-report for how bad my anxiety can get. But yeah, the mental distress was much worse than what actually happened, which was nothing. So what's Seneca's advice to dealing with these types of fears? What I advise you to do is not to be unhappy before the crisis comes, since it may be that the dangers before which you paled as if they were threatening you will never come upon you. They certainly have not yet come. Now you may be like, okay Seneca, easier said than done. I mean, obviously I don't want to be in distress over these irrational fears. Just telling me that I shouldn't doesn't help. But thankfully, Seneca provides us with 3 major tips on how to practically address this. Starting with tip number 1, Seneca suggests that we challenge these fears rationally. Put the question voluntarily to yourself. Am I tormented without sufficient reason? Am I morose? And do I convert what is not an evil into what is an evil? First of all, consider whether your proofs of future trouble are sure. So look at your worries as an idea to be challenged and debated, not so much as a certain actuality. Now, I ain't no psychologist, but this sounds very similar to the therapy known as CBT. No, not that CBT, you weirdos. Cognitive behavioral therapy. From what I've read, CBT works by challenging and interrogating negative thoughts. And that seems pretty similar to what Seneca's suggesting. Because the anxiety I had over that traffic incident is absolutely ridiculous if we challenge it rationally. But I just didn't do that at the time. Now if that doesn't work, Seneca offers a kind of plan B here with tip number 2, which is to use hope instead of fear. Now look, being a Stoic philosopher, I don't think Seneca's too keen on hope either. But it seems like he sees it as being preferable to fear if you have to choose between the two. Counter one weakness with another, and temper your fear with hope. Weigh carefully your hopes as well as your fears. And whenever all the elements are in doubt, decide in your own favor. Believe what you prefer. Sounds like a very pragmatic response. Again, Seneca doesn't like hope much either. He calls it a weakness. But if you're in a situation where you just can't help thinking about the future, and the whole CBT thing doesn't work, at least be in a state of hope rather than fear. Finally, Seneca gives a consideration to reflect on when you're in one of these moments. Remember that whatever you fear could actually be good for you. Seneca gives the example of Socrates being forced to drink the hemlock which killed him. And yeah, although it killed him, it also helped make him famous and gave him a sense of glory that exists even to this day. But we could also relate this to our own lives. I mean, when we were young, I bet we all hated going to the dentist. Unless you're one of those weird goody two-shoe kids, but I don't think I have any of those in my audience. I mean, it's not a big deal. I brush my teeth here and there. I don't need them to be extra clean. It's just gonna hurt. But lo and behold, after all the cleaning and braces and popcorn getting stuck in said braces, my teeth turned out pretty alright. I'd been probably looking like an alien if it weren't for all the teeth work. So when you feel the fear coming on, try to remember that it could actually be beneficial and try to see it in a more positive light. Take that thing that you're afraid of and try looking at it from a different angle, seeing how it could actually benefit you in the future. Alright, so those are the 3 tips Seneca gives on how to deal with these groundless fears. Hopefully they help so you can stop worrying and start living. If you want more philosophy videos, be sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell. And with that, I wish you all a beautiful rest of your day.